Hi, welcome back everybody to the SGDA Summit Student Game Showcase, Block B. I'm again Jason, the SGDA president.
And I'm Megna. I am the current guest host for this section, and we are going to play Mattanza. Alyssa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, I'm Melissa. I created the game Mattanza and I'm currently going to UCI or IVC, sorry.
Okay, and then can you tell us a little bit more about the game? As maybe Jason, you can click through some of the cards.
Yeah. The game I kind of loosely based on the Italian mafia. So I kind of tried to create a game that has this kind of a suspicion aspect to it. So basically, each player plays as a different capo. So they're kind of the head of their own mafia, while there's a Don who's not a playable character, but they have kind of their own cards here. Each player has, there are three ways to win basically. Either you could be the last one to kill the Don, or you can kill all of the other players, or you can get like $3 million and then you just kind of win by your influence.
Mhm.
Um, but let me see here. So there are a lot of different kinds of cards. So you have weapon cards, which you can use to like damage the Dawn. But each card I'll have its damage on the top right, and then a kind of a suspicion counter on the top left. So when you use the card, you'll gain a certain amount of suspicion. And that's kind of one of the main mechanics of my game. A lot of things are kind of centered around that. Like once you get to 7 suspicion, you would use this dice to make kind of like a saving roll. Um, in order to either save yourself, or if you get like below a 10, then you would actually get a hitman sent against you by the Dawn.
No.
Um, and that would do like 4 damage to your health, so you'd kind of be in a bad state. So you want to like use cards like this, which help remove suspicion, kind of like bribery. But yeah, that's kind of like the main mechanic of the game is just like using weapons and different mobsters to attack other players or the Dawn. Uh,
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I remember when I was playing through the game and I found it it was really fun to kind of
yeah.
I guess try and throw suspicion on other people. And then I guess I wanted to ask, how did this game get started for you? Like when did you get the idea and like how did it kind of form into the tabletop
Yeah.
aspect?
Well, I originally created this game for my game development class that I took over this spring. Our goal was to create a game on Tabletop Simulator. Um, and I kind of started, I wanted to make like a mesh of Settlers of Catan and the game of Mafia. So I was like, how could I combine the two? And like I was kind of cycling through ideas because I really loved like the trade aspect in Settlers of Catan. And then I like the like social aspect part of Mafia, but I ended up just keeping the theme of Mafia, and it doesn't have more of that like social aspect. But I do like to encourage trading in my game. Like I want to encourage other players to like kind of work together to kill the Dawn, but in the end they all have to sabotage each other because there can only be one winner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of like winning the game, even though you can kill the Dawn, you still have to sabotage the other players in order to finally win, be the one winner, right?
Right. Yeah, since there
Yeah.
can only be one winner, you might want to like force them to skip their turn or something like that so you could get the final blow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember when we were playing it, I was definitely trying to like kill each other's mobsters. So
Yeah.
I guess in terms of its development, like how long have you been working on this?
I've been working on it about like 4 or 5 months now. We started working on it towards like kind of the middle to the end of the semester, and then I was working on it a ton by the end of the semester since it was our final project. I've still been working on it here and there. I'm trying to develop it, I guess, into like a fully fledged balanced game. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And then are you planning on for any, I guess since you mentioned you're further developing it, are you planning for like a full release of the game? And then
That would be awesome if I could do that. I kind of want to get the experience of fully fleshing out a game, so I would love to make it like a real game, that I could like sell to people.
Mhm.
Um, but it definitely needs a lot more work before then. I was thinking that I would just get like a really good prototype first on Tabletop Simulator, and then maybe try to spread the word of people who play on Tabletop Simulator. And if it does do well, then maybe I'll like make a physical copy, which would be cool.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's definitely really fair, really well as a physical copy too, since like I don't, I really like the cards a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then I guess what parts of the game, in terms of like its development, what was the most difficult part, and did it change over time from like when you first started out to like where it is now?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely changed a lot. I think right now is the most difficult part for me is just trying to balance the game so that it kind of works. I think currently one of the issues I'm having with my game is that it's a little bit difficult to like do deal damage because there are like certain weapons that only certain mobsters could use. So balancing the game is definitely the most difficult part. It has changed a lot during development. Like before, I just had one draw, one discard, but now I've added like event cards, which kind of make the um, dawn more active in the game, I guess. And I'm still gonna add more cards to make it more of a presence feel.
Awesome, yeah. And I guess like what is the part of the game that you're sort of the most proud of in terms of its entire, since you are the solo dev and kind of been developing the entire, both like the game system as well as the art and the, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think one of the mechanics I'm most proud of is probably going to be the suspicion counter. I feel like once I get my game like more balanced and fully fleshed out, it'll be like the most interesting mechanic of my game. But I'm definitely also still like proud of the art mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. And then I guess in terms of in like the tabletop genre in general, do you play a lot of tabletop, and kind of like what do you like about tabletop? And in particular, like what you wanted to implement into this game? Because I know you mentioned Catan
Mm.
specifically, and in combining that with like Mafia, which is traditionally like more of a, I guess, not necessarily tabletop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like tabletop because you can kind of do a lot of things with it without like spending the money to go and like buy cards and kind of develop them yourself. It's kind of a medium where you could try just a bunch of things at not really much cost to yourself. Um and like I made these guns in my 3D modeling class and I
Yeah.
imported them in the game just to like a add that kind of, like, feel to it, and that's something that you can't really have with just, like, you can't just, like, package up a gun and be like, "Oh, here's a mafia
Yeah.
game."
Yeah, awesome. And then I guess since we're getting close to the ending point of this section, do you have any advice for people who want to like create tabletop games in particular? Because I think you're one of the only tabletop games currently in the showcase. So
Really? Oh, well, I would say, I think the classic is just like, have fun with it. I feel like one of the hardest things is to kind of stick with it, once you've fully fleshed it out. Also, don't be afraid to change things up. Like, I had to change up so many things, like, even after, like, I've drawn some cards and stuff like that. It's just don't get too attached to ideas and just try to um, make the best game possible.
yeah, awesome. Thank you. Great advice. And then I guess Jason, how are you on time?
We're doing good on time. Yeah. Sorry. Did you want to call anyone out? Just a shout out for, uh, yeah, for the
Oh,
Student Game Showcase.
sure. Well, a big thank you to my sister and her friends and my friends as well, because they've been a real big help in helping me playtest the game as I'm making changes. I also wanted to shout out Winnie. She actually has her tabletop game. She's going to be presenting it later on in the showcase. It's called Kira Kira, but she recommended me to apply to this event. It was really nice of her, and she's been really nice throughout this whole kind of development part of my game.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys know each other because both of them were all like this game and also Kira Kira, which I think is in showcase. I'm forgetting which showcase, but it's on the calendar. But both of them are really awesome games, and I'm really glad you guys submitted to the showcase. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you again for presenting during the showcase. I think the next event that we have coming up is the production panel, so stay tuned to that. Thank you again to our kindly game developer here, Alyssa, and we'll see you at the production panel.